2026. Hope all the basics you learned, you are able to connect it to your industry. So we will continue today to understand how DMAIC can be helpful in solving your business problem, right? And similarly, we'll also try to understand what is exactly Six Sigma, the meaning of Six Sigma, and how measuring Sigma level can be of help to you, right? So once again, to recall the ground rules, keep your video on, see to that your background noise doesn't become a disturbance to the program, and you can unmute whenever there are questions you wanted to ask. You can ask me even in between the slides. All right. So already yesterday I touched on this. Define DMAIC is nothing but define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. A five-phase approach which will help you to systematically reduce the defects from any process, right? Not only manufacturing, any kind of process. Wherever you see a process where inputs are converted into output, and then defects are possible. Because why defects are coming? Process always produce output with some variation. If that variation increases, sometimes it becomes visible to your customer, and then he will be able to identify the defects in your product, and as a result, your product might get rejected, right? And so how can you actually reduce the defects by going through the DMAIC phase? So it's very important you define the problem. And in Six Sigma language, defining the problem is you should make the problem measurable, right? And then once you make the problem measurable, you measure the problem by collecting the data without committing any error. For that purpose, you need to validate the measurement system, and then only you should proceed with data collection to understand your baseline performance. And then you move on to the analysis, where you actually figure out the root cause, and you will also validate the root cause. And then in the improve phase, you generate the solution, and then you validate the solution, and then you implement the solution. And finally, in the control phase, you will keep an eye on the critical factor, the root causes, and control them within certain limit, so that the same problem never pops up again. All right. So now let us